Hello and welcome to Connect. I'm your host, Randy Shabilo. On today's show, we'll have Don Meikle, the Executive Director from EGADZ, as well as Saskatoon recording artist Jordan Wellborn. As always, we'd like to connect with you.
Tweet Shaw TV Connect, find us on Facebook, email shawtvconnect@shaw.ca, or call us at 306-665-3796.
EGADZ is a long-standing facility in Saskatoon, and some of the programs it offers is wide-reaching and very positive to see in Saskatoon itself. I've invited the Executive Director, Don Meikle, to come down and give us some insight into some events coming up and a little bit about the programming happening there. Don, thanks for taking time to see us today.
You're welcome.
Let's talk a little bit about you, because you've been involved, I think, from years back. Who is Don Meikle and how did he come to be where he is today?
Don Meikle, it's kind of a weird story, but in '84 I was in a gravel truck accident and I was hurt. And so going through the whole process, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to be when I grew up. And I decided I was going to become a social worker. So back in '93, you needed to get 400 hours of like volunteer hours at an organization, and then you could apply for the social work program. Well, I went in there and I actually did the interview process for social services, and I started volunteering at EGADZ in March of '93, and I never ever left. So that's kind of how and I've just been through working my way through all the different programs. And like when I started, I think there was 13 employees. Everybody had a title because they couldn't afford to pay us anything, so they gave us a title. And so I've just been there ever since March of '93.
You've seen many changes over the years. When did EGADZ finally get going?
When I started, we had 13 employees when I started. And we had a main floor drop-in and a school support program. That's what we had. And then in September of '93, we started the street outreach program, and it's just kind of developed from there. As a program comes or as there's a need in the community for our young people, we step up and try to fill that need.
I remember when you started, one of the interesting things we had talked about was you had some, firsthand knowledge of some of the issues that the kids were facing, and I think that was really admirable that you've gone and taken that one step further into knowing a lot about what they're going through.
Yeah, I had kind of a challenging life. My father was in the war, and back then they didn't diagnose things. He used to drink every day, and then when he drank he'd get violent. The police were at our house probably 4 times a week, and then I left at 12, and then I moved to Alberta and kind of hit the streets of Calgary and Saskatoon, and I'll never forget. I was in Pincher Creek, Alberta, and I was supposed to live with this this family because I was helping him fix equipment, and I was like 15, I think, at the time. And they were gonna talk about adopting me and putting me through school and stuff, and the economy in Pincher for his business got really tough. So at the end of the season, when we were done working, he said to me, "You're gonna have to move on. We can't afford to keep you. We want to, but we can't afford." So I'll never forget standing on the highway, hitchhiking back. I was going back to Calgary, and I thought, I'm never going to do this again, and that I need to make something of my life, and I just kind of never looked back. And I went to work, and I always went and did, to me, working was important. It was a sense of pride. It was a sense of giving you've just felt like you're contributing. You know, prior to that, I've done a lot of dumb things in my life, a lot of things that were against the law. But, I'll never forget, I came back to Saskatoon and I walked into a 7-Eleven store that was wide open and they forgot to lock the doors. And I turned around and I phoned the people that own the 7-Eleven store and said, your store has been left open. And I ended up getting a job there and I worked there, and then it just kind of went from there. And till 93 when I was operating equipment, and then in 93 when I got hurt, I decided I was going to do this kind of work for kids.
And it's paying dividends when you look at the growth of the organization and your commitment there. Let's maybe go into EGADZ itself. It started in about 1990, I guess.
April 2nd, 1990 is when we started. And like it's been for a number of years fairly slow growth.
This was at the corner of First Avenue and
24th.
24th
Yeah,
Street, right?
we leased that old building.
Yep.
And throughout the years, the lease kept going up, and they were, the IPs were really good in, giving back. And then for everybody, I guess things got tight, and then they wanted to keep increasing our lease. So what we ended up doing was buying the new building at 485 First Avenue North. And it's smaller, but we got windows. We never had windows. It's amazing.
The whole idea?
The whole idea. It's smaller,
Yeah.
but it's newer, it's cleaner, it's more, it just kind of gives you that professional feel, and it's comfortable.
You have some programs that you run. There's the outreach, of course, but in terms of employment and some opportunities for some of the youth that you deal with, what about that?
Part of our vision is that every child grows up to become a contributing citizen. And for us, that's really important because we feel as an organization, and even me personally, is that we're really good at chasing crisis. Like we're really good at trying to help people when they're really dire, down and out. But what we're not very good at as a community is offering that long term. Is what's life like after the crisis? What's life like after you get your life together? What's life like, moving forward? And, we started our Action to Employment program, which started when we started our housing. We used to have our kids do, the underground sprinklers, the sod, the fence, the decks, and have them contribute and help out. We'd been doing that for a number of years, and last year we had some help from Saskatoon Health. We had some help from Saskatoon Community Foundation. Lou Paquette from Saskatoon Truck donated a truck, and Canadian Tire gave us the tools to get going and start doing this yard care work. We started that program because we were looking at it kind of twofold, is giving kids a chance to gain some employment where it's a real job, but also we were finding that a lot of the kids were kids with mental health and addictions issues, that they were spending a lot of time in the hospitals and taking up a lot of time there. And we were trying to just look at a different way of doing things, is how can we help these kids? And like Action to Employment is, it was a 16-year-old girl who had spent a lot of time in the Dubé, said, moving ahead in life, we need to start giving back to the community. And they were going to pick garbage in the park and just do something. And it just kind of spiraled into, let's do something for seniors and let's help seniors and people with disabilities. So it just got going, and it's been amazing. We're helping over 40 seniors, and it's going year round now. In the summer, it employs up to 15 kids. In the winter, we have more of a skeleton crew, but this winter, it didn't snow very much. But what they did was is they got themselves a job at EGADZ, and they were doing maintenance while our maintenance guy was on leave.
I think it's a testament to, you know, providing that opportunity and then having someone kind of nurture that. You're doing very good at that. Tell us about the event coming up May 5th that I think is very unique and interesting.
We had we're doing a fundraiser Thursday, May the 5th. It's not really a gala. It's more of a get together. The tickets are, I think, $75. 5 o'clock cocktails, 6 p.m. is the dinner. We have Daryl Cosman. He's a comedian, and we're having a live auction. One of the auctioneers from EGADZ has agreed to come and do some live auction stuff. We're having a silent auction, and Heath Mulligan is willing to has agreed to MC it. And the cool thing is we have a committee, and our youth that are involved in Action to Employment actually sit on the fundraising committee and are helping us get prizes and helping us set it up, and they'll be there the night of to help out because it is in turn helping them.
And this will go towards helping fund the employment.
This will go, all the money, the proceeds will go to funding the Action to Employment. The main, like our support staff, we have a support staff that drive the kids around and make sure all the yards are done and keep us on schedule. They're funded through the Ministry of Social Services, through a support worker. And then all the rest goes like gas and garbage bags, and it pays some of the kids some of their honorariums, because part of this whole deal when we set it up was this is a real job. Like, you go through an interview process, you make up a resume. Last year, one of the business guys from Saskatoon Truck Center sat in on the interview, and so we might have 40 kids apply, but we have to narrow it down to 10 kids plus 5 kind of spare, like kids that aren't usually in the...
So it's just dealing with the realities of life.
It's the reality of life, and we got kids that are buying... Yeah, we're buying the kids are buying themselves computers. The one young lady, because she was going to work all year round, took her last paycheck in the fall, bought herself, you know, snow boots and coveralls, and you know, they buy themselves cell phones, they buy themselves clothes. The young mums that are in the program, instead of going to social services to actually ask for money for their additional kids' needs like clothes and stuff, they buy the kids' clothes and stuff.
Don, I really wish you a lot of luck in your endeavors, and thank you for your past contributions to the city and for all the kids. It's a wonderful program.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We'll be right back.